Hello, hello, it's Safrina from Feng Shui and Prosper. It's time for my weekly live stream, my weekly show, coming to you from my living room. If you see the timer here, we still have about just a little under 5 minutes before we go officially live. I just wanted to give everyone some time to come in, say hi. Oops. Let me make sure that I am on. And keeping my fingers crossed that I have better internet connection today. Perfect. I think I am on. Hold on. Okay, awesome. So whoever's watching me live right now, feel free, say hi, let me know who you are. And we have a very interesting topic today. It actually came up as one of the topic requests. Hello, Renee. Welcome, welcome. Who else is watching? So I will try to do a show once a week. So let me know if there is a... Hello, Joyce. Good morning to you. It's 1 p.m., almost 1 p.m. my time here, afternoon. But hello, welcome, wherever you're from. We still have about 3 minutes plus before I go dive into the topic for today, which is about space cleansing or space clearing. So, hello, Claire. Hello, Julie. So if there is a topic, be it Feng Shui related or spiritual related, if there's another topic that you'd like me to cover, feel free to please comment under the video so that I can see if it's a topic that I can broach, or maybe I can bring on an expert to do an interview. But I would like to start doing this, and I have sort of started doing this on a weekly basis, except for last week. I had really bad internet. But, for this year, I will go above and beyond Feng Shui. It's not new for many of you who follow me, but for some of my more official videos, I would like to cover everything energy related, be it in the heaven luck or earth luck or mankind luck realm, okay? So how are you guys? Tell me where you're watching me from. Let me also share this to a couple of pages and just to keep the conversation going. And also, sunny and hot in Scottsdale, Arizona. Amazing. We're starting to feel a little bit warmer here in Toronto. And those of you, if you know friends or family or whoever who might be interested in this topic about space cleansing or space clearing, please do me a favor and share this with them. Awesome. Who else is here? Renee from Clint, Texas, near El Paso. Julie from Jersey City. Oh, mostly Americans here. I guess it will be really late over in Asia and other parts, I guess in the European countries as well. What other? Okay. Awesome. So we are almost, did someone get a haircut? Actually, I'm hoping I don't turn my head too much. I only kind of did my front. I just had a shower. So only the front is presentable. I hope I don't turn my head too much. You're going to see the back is still a little wet. Thus is the reality of live shows. Mary from Ireland, my goodness. Is it? Oh, actually, in the European countries, that would be around 5 or 6 in the evening for you guys, right, Mary? The front looks beautiful. Thank you, Joyce. All right. Again, before we officially start, if there's a friend or family who would be interested in today's topic, which is about cleansing and clearing your space, please feel free to have them join us on this live stream, or even share it. If you're watching the replay, feel free to share the replay with everyone as well. So welcome. Timer's gone to 0. And this is going to be my my format where I will come hopefully once a week, hopefully on Wednesdays around 1 p.m. And then just about 5 to 10 minutes prior to the show, I will come on just to get a little bit more interaction with you guys, know you guys a little bit more, as opposed to it being just like a one-way conversation. So 6 o'clock. Okay, perfect. So today's topic is about space clearing. And why you need to do it. And I'll also show you a couple of ways that I've been clearing my space. And there's other ways of doing it, but I'll share with you what I've been doing for the past years and years as well. If you tune in, especially if you guys are a little bit more intuitive, tune into the space. And if you feel like the space is a little bit, the energy is a little bit dense, or it feels, maybe you feel fine, but when you come into the house, you start feeling headachy or whatever, that is a really good sign that the energy needs a little bit of a lift. One, it helps remedy, or it helps heal your home where the energy is concerned. Now, I should have mentioned this earlier, is while I do believe and I do practice space cleansing and space clearing, and some will argue with me, some will disagree with me, but it is not Feng Shui, okay? So even though I cover this in my live stream, do not see it as a Feng Shui practice, okay? I'm not saying it's, again, I do it myself, but do not confuse it as a Feng Shui principle. Just like decluttering is not Feng Shui, just like putting vision boards is not really Feng Shui, or putting symbolic things, like for instance, if you want a relationship and you display a poster of a very amorous couple, like I call those law of attraction placements, those are not Feng Shui. Do not confuse that. I'm not saying don't do it. I actually love doing all those things. It's a separate branch in terms of changing the energy, in terms of putting forth into the universe, into your space, the kind of intention that you want to attract into your life. Okay? We got that? Yes, Joyce is saying sometimes she needs to cleanse a space after spending time with someone who is very draining or very toxic. That's a really good thing too. Like after a party is also really good, just so, everyone else's energy doesn't just stick around, especially someone who is negative, right? Some of you guys maybe do it after your in-laws leave, for instance. So in a nutshell, that basically is it. And some of you guys who are a little bit more intuitive, and I think this speaks to quite a few of you, followers of mine. If you meditate, if you do a lot of spiritual work, if you're a Reiki practitioner, or if you're in tune with energy, if you sense that something is off energetically, even after you do your Feng Shui placement, something still feels off, it's a really good idea to do a cleansing. And it's very interesting. And so cleansing has many different, there's many different reasons to do it. But spiritual energy, it's because you're at home. It's so important for you to keep the energy of your space as healthy, as clean, as supportive, and as light-filled as possible. So if you feel like, especially, for instance, if it's a home that has been in your family for many generations, there could be some generational energy that's just been hanging around. right? And we'll talk about cleansing generational energies in your home. Then that's a really good way to, a really good reason to cleanse your space. And also, if you just feel like, those of you guys in manifesting code, some of you come to me and say, hey, Safrina, I tried the meditation, I tried whatever. One way to, but you say you're trying to do the tools, but you're not getting insights from your meditations, you're not getting insights from your Akashic Record journey, or not getting insights from your journaling, whatever it may be. One way to kind of support you in that spiritual journey a little bit more is also to cleanse your space, because some spaces block that, almost like a block around you where the messages don't come through as much as possible. So it's not always you, it's not always your ego mind that is blocking the answer. Sometimes it is the space, it is the energy. So let's see here, how is it so far? How many of you already have a practice in terms of cleansing your space? And how many of you don't, right? Feel free to comment there as well. I would love to hear. So let's just get into the nitty-gritty here. And I've got some notes just to make sure I don't miss out on anything. Okay. What is very important in any metaphysical or spiritual work is intention. And what I mean by that is, don't just do the rituals for the sake of doing the rituals. You need to kind of center yourself as much as possible and have the intention of meeting your ritual halfway, in terms of, okay, you're doing the cleansing ritual to cleanse the space, but you need to also be present. You need to also have the intention, and the intention can be in a form of a prayer, the intention can be in a form of mantra, or simply being present is good enough. I prefer you not to do the ritual just for the sake of, okay, check, today I cleanse my space and we're good to go. No, it doesn't work as well that way. So focus on the intention. Don't just burn and spray, and you're gonna you're gonna hear what I mean by that. Oh, I forgot my spray. Oh, wait a minute. All right, just making sure I have my stuff around me. So there's a couple of ways that I personally do it. Again, there's other ways and other ways that it can be done, but I have no experience in it. But I will go over them in a minute if we have the time. So first, I want to talk about using incense and saging and using resins. So incense is pretty much, so this is what I have. I don't know if the camera can focus. Maybe not. This is a Japanese brand. It's called Morning Star, and my husband and I, we love this because the incense stick, it's pretty short, if you can see. Oh, maybe not my hair. It's pretty short, so it burns pretty quickly. I remember getting an incense from like a Jamaican grocery store, and it was really long. I think it took close to 3 hours to burn down. But that one is easy. So what I do, I just burn this, and I personally keep it simple. I do it very similarly. So either it's an incense or resin or sage. I just light them up and I go around room by room. Again, trust your intuition. If your intuition tells you that you need to linger in a room a little bit longer, or even if it's not intuition, if someone has just been pretty ill, or there's been an argument happening in a certain place, or maybe you do it longer in the kitchen because someone just, had a mini fire there or something. If wherever you feel it needs a little bit more energetic support, you linger around that space a little more. I like to do it room by room, okay? And and we were talking about intention a little bit earlier, is you can, again, it really is up to you. There is no hard and fast rules, right? You can simply use your religious background or your spiritual background, right? Some of you are Wiccans, some of you are, whatever, Taoists or Christians or whatever. Just have a prayer in mind, or you can even say your prayer while you're going around. So the other one is, do I not have my lighter? I don't have my lighter. So, and the other one is, actually, I think I jumped up a little bit. In terms of incense, any type of incense really can work. But personally, I prefer sandalwood, because sandalwood, and I have my note here, it assists in, it's been used in Buddhist temples for many, many decades now, because it is deemed as setting the connection and reconnection with your spirituality, with a higher realm of energy. So it also assists in quieting the mind. So you can also start listening to the subtle voice. And before I do my meditation, I do have a little bit more of a preference in terms of using frankincense and sandalwood, because personally, I find my meditation goes deeper when I have either of these two burning. And we'll talk about oils in a bit, but I even put a little bit of frankincense oil on my third eye. And trust me, your meditation, if you feel a little bit of a struggle with your meditation or your visualization, that will help you anchor into the energy, and you'll get a bit more breakthroughs that way. Okay. Sandalwood also helps elevate you from your current consciousness and your current belief system. And this is great in terms of your mankind luck, especially if you feel stuck somewhere. The sandalwood is really good to unstick that and get the energy moving. Okay. And then there's the sage. Some of you guys it's really bright where I am. I don't know why. Okay. Here's the sage. It's basically sage leaves, but bundled up. And these guys are readily available. I think you can get them online. You can get them in metaphysical stores or more spiritual-based stores. If you have a sage plant, I've never tried this myself, but I know people who basically make their own sage bundles. If you have a sage plant, I think that you just dry it upside down, and you basically tie it, right? If you guys can see, there's strings here, right? So, and I love how it smells, actually. So again, just like the incense, I just burn it, again, with an intention. It can be a mantra, it can be a chant, it can be a prayer, it can be just, help me cleanse this space, right? Spirit, universe, whatever, help me cleanse this space, make it a supportive space for health and rejuvenation and family and love. Okay. So again, I just light it and I go around the room. I would light it. Actually, let me use this one. Sometimes I do light it more than once because it does go out. But when I light it, I put it in a heat-proof dish. If you don't have a heat-proof dish like this, you can use Pyrex, because I don't think that will break, or anything that can take the heat, a heat-proof bowl. So light it, and then I just use my hands to kind of guide the smoke. In what do you call that? In Native American tradition, they use feathers, I believe. I think that's just an option, but and they use feathers and like a shell or something. But this one, yeah, I just walk through and cleanse the space combined with my intention. do you know that essential oils are also great for space cleansing? And this is great for those of you guys who are a little bit more sensitive to the smoke. So this is a really good alternative. So it can be like a little spray like this. This is actually a spray that I leave in my bathroom for times when you need a little bit of an aromatherapy support. So fill half the bottle with witch hazel and the other half with distilled water. Distilled water, not regular tap water, okay? Some will argue regular tap water is fine, but personally I find distilled water works better for me. And then, so half witch hazel, half distilled water, and about 25 to 35 drops of essential oils. Now, where essential oils are concerned, the highest quality that you can afford, go for it, especially in terms of cleansing a space. And I'll tell you why. I've used these essential oil room sprays for years and years now. And I used to buy them from other brands, other stores. Like, I noticed that when I use those brands, the scent doesn't last. It doesn't last in the room, which kind of makes me wonder, in terms of the quality. Once I switched to my preferred brand right now, and I'll put in my link in the PDF as well as here later on, it's called doTERRA. Once I spray it, and even after like an hour going in, I can still smell a hint of it. So meaning, for me, in my very unscientific opinion, is that the molecules or whatever of the oil, because they're essential oils from plants, right? So that for me means higher quality. So I'm very, very happy when I realized that. So this one here, for instance, is with lemongrass. And lemongrass is actually a great space cleanser. Not just for the bathroom, but first time I got turned into lemongrass as a space cleanser is when I was in a wellness clinic. And so what lemongrass does is it dispels, and I actually have a bottle of lemongrass here. This is my beautiful, oh my God, it just smells really great. Already immediately uplifts me. So lemongrass dispels feelings of despondency, despair, and lethargy. Okay, it helps you let go of limiting beliefs, toxic energies. It helps you move forward and commit to a healing path. For those of you guys who are hoarders, either physical hoarders, right? You hoard a lot of stuff in your space, or emotional and psychological hoarders, meaning it's hard for you to let go of certain emotions or certain thoughts. Lemongrass is amazing in helping you break away from that and move forward. If you guys don't believe me in terms of the power of essential oils, give this a try. If you feel like it's hard for you to let go, either something or someone or some memory, lemongrass is going to start moving you, helping you get the momentum forward without being held back. Okay, so lemongrass. So this one actually has lemongrass in there already, so I just spray it. I use that in the bathroom because I love the scent as well. White fir. I don't have the white fir with me right now, but this is, white fir was one of them that I suggested to a client because she is very in tune with the energy, but she felt like generational karma or generational energy is weighing her down in her home. She says she always has a headache when she comes home. So white fir is great for generational issues passed down from family member to family member. And this can be in terms of substance abuse, emotional abuse, even physical abuse. And also really good in letting go of anger too. Okay, so especially this would be great. The white fir would be great after a conflict. So frankincense, I have my go-to frankincense. Oh, this one is frankincense. Okay, my frankincense essential oil here. Again, I do it in a spray bottle. And it's great to cleanse the space, especially before a spiritual exercise, such as meditating, such as journaling, doing your forgiveness work, and so on and so forth. Bergamot, I do have bergamot, but I don't have it on me right now. But bergamot has a nice citrusy smell to it, and I love bergamot, especially in my Earl Grey tea. But bergamot is also great in your cleansing spray because it invites you to clear away stagnant energy or limiting beliefs as well, because limiting beliefs does keep you stuck, doesn't it? And it's also good for a lot of because bergamot has a little bit of that greenish tinge, it's also great for the heart chakra work. And I'm not saying you spray it on your heart, but if you feel like your space or even yourself, if you're struggling with issues of not feeling lovable, not feeling good enough, or if you're hiding behind a mask, right, you're not good enough to project your real self to the world, bergamot is really good in this, okay? Especially if there is a situation where you're kind of stuck, you spray this in a room. It won't turn it 180 degrees, but it will help facilitate the healing, okay? Another one that I don't have on me, because I just finished it, is from, again, my favorite brand, which is doTERRA. But the doTERRA Purify is a blend. And the name itself, Purify, already tells us what it does. So it's a blend of lemon, lime, Siberian fir needle, citronella, tea tree, cilantro, yes, all that. So it facilitates emotional breakthroughs. So in order to receive, you need to also release a couple of, in order to receive, you also need to allow yourself to release that which is no longer serving or supporting you. So this blend, the Purify blend, will help you release the old, so you're also more open to the new. Okay? So those are the ones, those are my go-to. But once in a while, when I feel like I need additional support in the home, I do a visualization. And I'm not going to go through maybe I should have prepared to go through one here. But basically, you can do a cleanse either with the incense or sage or resin or with the essential oil. And then you can sit down and you can do a meditation. The main gist of it is to meditate and put your home in like a light bubble, as in light as in bright, right? And let the light either, it can be light from the sun or light from the moon. When you're doing a full moon ritual, this is really good to kind of do your visualization as well. So your home is being surrounded by this bubble, and there's light being infused inside the bubble, and let the light just energetically cleanse the home. This is a really good meditation to protect the home as well. So while it's cleansing, it's also protecting. This is a really good way to do it, even if you're not at home, right? Let's say you're traveling and the news of something happening at home, you can do this visualization to kind of elevate the energy a little bit, okay? And other ways that I don't have is sound healing. So I don't, some sound healers, they use like a bell. They hit the metal disc together, and the ringing of the bell or the disc cleanses the space. And some of you have I actually have a cleansing bowl, but it's in a different room right now. Not too prepared for this live stream, but it's a bowl where, and sound healers use crystal bowls. They are a little bit more pricey, but if you're interested in that, you can definitely explore that. So the sound of the bowl will ring throughout the space, and that also elevates the vibration of the energy. If you are a Reiki master, obviously I can't show this because I'm not a Reiki master. If you're a Reiki master, I believe they can, or if you know someone who is, they can also kind of I don't know what they do, to be honest. But I know they can kind of support the energy of the space as well with their whatever Reiki techniques. Okay, that is pretty much it for me. Let me see in terms of questions. Alana says, I heard that the sage removes negative and positive energies. I do not believe so. Because otherwise, why would someone want to do something that also gets rid of the positive energies? And I personally, when I tune into a space after it's been cleansed, I personally don't think that that is true. Okay. Okay. Diana says, I like the last one you demonstrated. Could you type the name of all the things you're using? Because I have never done a cleansing and I don't know any of them. Diana, you're in manifesting code, right? So I will have additional information in the future modules in terms of cleansing your space. I will definitely do that. But for those of you guys who want my PDF, type PDF in your comment. And once I have the one sheet that's going to list out all the stuff that I have mentioned earlier, I'll send it to you via Messenger. Okay? Okay, awesome. And again, if you know of anyone who will be interested in what I'm sharing today, feel free to share with them the video. Ethel says, after my work, I spray my body to remove all bad energy from my coworkers. Yes. You can, actually some of the essential oils are really good as a body spray. I personally just dab them. Most of the time I just dab them like behind my ears. And also depending on what chakra, usually I do it on my, in my, around my heart area as well. I really do love smelling my oils. So I really like putting it somewhere where I can smell it as well. Marnie says, can we mix salt and essential oil in a spray? I don't know about salt. Be really careful with salt because salt can actually ruin your furniture if you're not careful, and it'll ruin metal as well, right? So I wouldn't recommend salt in your room spray. Why do we need witch hazel in the room spray? Some of you are probably wondering. It's because essential oils are oil. Oils don't mix with water, but the witch hazel actually allows them to combine a little bit better. Okay. Ashley, any help for career, please? Are you talking about cleansing a space for your career? I mean, you can do it in your workspace. If you feel stuck in your job, you can do it in your workspace. But again, you need the right intention when you're doing it. Renee, is there a good way to cleanse a car? Use a smaller spray. Or if you want, you can use the incense or the sage. The scent might stick a little bit in your car. Not sure if people will think that you've been smoking, but that's definitely one way of doing it. Joyce says, I've heard that some oils should not be placed directly on the skin. Not sure which ones can and which can't. That is correct. Some essential oils are, I think the term is phototropic, in that when you put it on your skin, you should not go immediately out in the sun. For me, I don't know, I have thick skin, so I haven't found, and these oils are usually, those of you guys who are aromatologists, and you might be able to help me, but most of these oils, I believe, are citrus oils. So I think bergamot would be one of them, lemon maybe. But, yeah, those are the ones. You can put them on the skin, just it should not be exposed in the sun immediately. Okay? And Ashley is saying, you're an artist, you're not getting sales. So, cleansing the space, are you in a gallery? Cleansing the space can help, but you need to do more than that. Now, again, you need to meet the energy halfway. What are you doing in terms of getting yourself more visible? either your work or yourself as an artist? What is your art maybe a little bit more unique in that it's more attractive to a certain niche type of people, either demographically or psychographically, right? You're at home, okay. Are you using social media to push your work forward? The cleansing can cleanse your space, but it won't just do a call out into your buyers to have them come. Okay, you need to do the mankind luck. You need to do the work in terms of increasing the sales as well. Now, I used to work in a Feng Shui store, right? Some of you guys know. I used to work in a Feng Shui store, selling all sorts of stuff that I know now you don't need to do Feng Shui, right? And there were days where the whole day would come and go, and I'm almost closing out, and no one came into the store. And it's a Feng Shui store, okay? That is when red flags started happening in my head, because I'm like, this store sells Feng Shui stuff. Why have we not made a single sale today? And so I would cleanse the space. I would do it with the sandalwood. But to be honest, it didn't help that much. So cleanse the space, but you also need to figure out what else you need to do to meet that energy halfway. If you're elevating the energy of the space in your home, right? That is earth luck. Okay? Same as Feng Shui. You're doing it based on earth luck. What is it in your heaven luck and what is it in your mankind luck that is missing? And with that in point, I hope it's okay for me to share with you guys manifesting code. You will see the link to manifesting code here if you want a little bit more information on that. There are no tool, not one tool on its own can change your life. Okay? I didn't want to talk about this today, but I guess Ashley's comment kind of triggered that. So I think I should address that. So anything in your life that you want to change, you need to look at the heaven luck, the earth luck, and the mankind luck. Those of you guys who follow me, I know you're sick and tired to hear me say this. But I do need to say this because many of you guys are not listening, unfortunately, or you need a little bit more reminder. Just doing Feng Shui is not enough. Just doing Law of Attraction is not enough. Just looking at your astrology, like if you're a dragon sign, is not enough. Be it in your relationship or your health or your spiritual work, like we're talking about cleansing, right? Whatever it is, whatever area in your life that you want to activate, you need to ask yourself the hard question, what are you missing? So that's the thing. I wish Feng Shui on its own can change your life. And that is not the truth, unfortunately. You need to combine your Feng Shui work with your own determination, which is your mankind life, your own discipline, your own willingness to look at what's not working and fix it. And you also need to be open to looking at the heaven luck. What's happened in your past life and how is it affecting your current life? What's happening in your current past, right? The past, which is up until today in your current life. What are the spiritual lessons that you are meant to learn that you haven't learned? Because unless you learn the lesson from it, the same spiritual lesson is gonna keep rearing its head to hopefully one day you get it, right? And such. So manifesting code here is where I talk about the heaven luck, the earth luck, and the mankind luck. And you guys, some of you guys who are watching are in there right now. These are courageous people who are willing to do the work, who are committed in their spiritual path and in changing the trajectory of their life, to put in the work and the time and the effort to change the energy, to shift the energy in their heaven luck, the earth luck, and the mankind luck. And those are the ones who are finally seeing issues that have been hounding them for years. It's starting to see resolution. If you want change, it doesn't happen overnight. I wish it does. I wish I have the secret key to give you something that can change your life overnight, but I don't think it's out there. Okay. Joyce is asking, is witch hazel a carrier oil, or should it be jojoba fractionated oil? Witch hazel is not a carrier oil because it's not an oil. The witch hazel is actually watery. It's more like water. It's like a, yeah, it's like a water consistency. Without the scent, you would actually think it's water. But don't confuse it as a carrier oil. Okay. Donna is saying, I'm confused with charity work, that there is a right kind. Could you elaborate? Oh, okay. So, for instance, if you want to get pregnant, it's very simple. If you want to get pregnant, you do charity work with, organizations that work with children. If you want to shift your health, right? Let's say you're struggling with cancer, you do more charity work with cancer-related organizations. If you have a past life where you murdered someone and you want to shift that karmic debt, then you do more charity work relating to, let's say, supporting people who, okay, let's say in your past life you were a drunk driver and you hit someone and that person died, right? Once you figure that out, and that energy is, and you realize that energy is affecting your current life, or even if it happened in your current life, right? Then you do charity work in terms of supporting families who are affected by drunk driving. If you want to, I like this. If you want to increase the abundance through your business, then you do charity work that supports other entrepreneurs, right? Like kiva.org. That's a really easy one to do. If you want to shift the energy in your career, maybe do charity work through organizations that help kids with, career counseling or something like that, right? Something that is, you don't have to. I just feel like it just gives that the additional push, right? Additional boost in terms of shifting the energy for you. Okay. And Julie says, but for your body oil, use jojoba. Oh, okay. That must be a conversation that I'm missing here. Oh, Julie says, I am an aromatherapist and always need a carrier oil to put it on your skin because they can burn your skin like almond oil or coconut oil is best. Listen to the aromatherapist, but I like mine neat, to be honest. And again, some of you guys will not like to hear this, but doTERRA oils are very pure. I actually ingest mine. Not all of them, but I have my grapefruit essential oil. I have my ginger essential oil. There's a copaiba essential oil that's actually good for pain management. And some of you will cringe when I say, again, if it's not high therapeutic grade, do not do it because it's not pure enough. But I do that with mine. Again, maybe I just have really thick skin. Essential oil neat just doesn't affect me at all. But if you want to be safe, definitely mix it. Okay. Renee is saying, for me, Jing Qi turns into Qi when into... Okay, so maybe the cleansing of the space will refine into what who is trying to manifest what? I'm not sure. I think there's I'm missing the link in the conversation here. Okay. So, we are going on, we are almost an hour in. So I will, I will leave you guys here. Again, those of you who you want the PDF, I can't guarantee, I can't promise when I'll finish it. It just popped up to me that you guys might actually want this written out. But I'll do it in a PDF format, probably just a one sheet. If you guys want a copy of this, just comment PDF under this video and I'll message you and send it to you when we're ready. All right, you guys, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys in a week.